Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the last session of the day. Thank you very much for showing up for the last session of the day. We appreciate it. My name is 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀.
I'm Robyn Guarriello.
And we're going to talk to you about the future of Planner and agents today. Almost exactly a year ago, Satya launched the Project Manager Agent at Ignite. We were in Chicago at the time. It was a really big moment for a transformation in the way organizations use agents and how we see work organizing itself in the future. And so as we talk to frontier firms who are emerging out of the industry today, what we are seeing is a few patterns in the way that people use agents inside of their organizations. The first one is sort of the human assistant one, where I would use an agent as an assistant. Think about I go into Copilot and I type in some prompts, I get some great answers back, I use Researcher, that really one-on-one kind of experience. And we're going to show you how the Project Manager Agent can help you in these scenarios with your work and your tasks. But the second and the third ones are where Planner really plays a huge role. And this is in managing human and agent teams and agent-led teams. And you're going to see examples of this in the demos that Robyn does. And also I will talk about some of the investments that we're making going forward to make sure that these patterns are really well supported. Some interesting facts about project management in organizations. Many of you probably know this, but there's about 40 million professional project managers in the world today. That is more than there are software engineers. So there are more project managers than software engineers in the world, more than there are nurses in the world. So project management is an enormous footprint of users. And when we bring in the informal project managers whose day-to-day work, they might not be professionals, it's just managing the work of their team, that number becomes over 100 million people. And so that is 25% of the workforce today is spending an enormous amount of time managing people's work. And so what we are trying to do is transform the way project management is done so that we can have less people working on managing the work and more people working on getting work done. Because that's what we're trying to do at the end of the day. But we know that projects and work management are the backbone of every company and every organization. It is how we organize our work. It is how we measure success in our work. It is how we know when we're done and keep going. And so we will continue to invest in work management very strongly. But what we're trying to do is transform work management so that we're getting more work done. And so in a lot of the demos that you're going to see, and we will call out, please pay attention to the fact that we're not just managing work. We're actually accelerating the speed at which projects are getting done. One of the first ways that we do this is by embedding the project manager agent and planner where work is getting done today. 85% of users, while they use Copilot and other standalone AIs and they go to that AI, what they want is that AI to come to them where they're working, whether it be in Teams or Outlook, or the places where they're actually interacting with their peers and trying to get work done. So the first thing we're going to show you, Robyn is going to give us a demo of how Project Manager shows up in Teams. And this is the first place that we're getting the Project Manager Agent out into the ecosystem of where people work.
All right, thanks, Howard. So let's take a look at some integrations that we have released with the Facilitator Agent in Teams meetings, where we know that we all spend a lot of time getting work done with our teams. So my team has been getting ready recently for a launch event of our new product that we call the Trainer Mat. And a couple teammates and I hopped on this call to get ready and discuss logistics for that day and any outstanding work that needs to be done. In the chat here, we're discussing a task that needs to be tracked closely that we haven't been able to actually capture yet in Planner. Well, luckily, I can call on the Facilitator Agent to help make sure that this gets tracked. All I have to do is @mention the facilitator in the chat, let it know what the task is that I want it to capture, and it's going to go ahead, integrate with the Project Manager Agent, and create that task in Planner for us so we know to follow up on it. But of course, it still needs an owner, so I can reply to this message and @mention the Facilitator Agent again, and let it know who should be responsible for this work. So in this case, my teammate Susie should be taking this on So I'll make sure that it assigns it to her so she knows to follow up on this after the meeting. And this will show up in her My Tasks alongside all of her other work. Now, of course, in this meeting, we've been having a lot of discussion verbally as well. And the facilitator agent has been capturing follow-up tasks for us as we're discussing. If we go in the notes of this meeting, we can see all of those follow-up tasks captured for us, ready to go. And we have those in Planner as well, so we can track them alongside all of our other work. And you'll notice that we have the AI indicator there as well, so we know that the facilitator agent captured these for us, not humans on our teams. And there is the task that is assigned to Susie that we asked it to capture. Now, of course, we want to get work done in this meeting as well. So during the meeting, we were talking about a follow-up meeting that we need to have after this. And I'm going to see if the facilitator agent can help us draft an agenda for that meeting based on our discussion. It's looking for a bit more information, but I think the context that it has is actually great. So I'm going to ask it to go ahead and use those details to create that draft. And there we go. We have an agenda ready and set up to go for our next meeting. Now, we also need a marketing plan out of this discussion. And so I'm going to go ahead and mention the facilitator agent again and ask it to draft up that marketing plan based on the details that we discussed today. And it is going to interact with the project manager agent to create a task for itself, assign it to that task, and execute on it for us. And in just a couple seconds, it will go ahead and send us that document. And there we go. Now, if we open it up, we can see all of the context that it was able to capture for us during this meeting. We can see that it captured the target audiences that we discussed, our marketing objectives, owners for the various tasks that we were discussing, and so much more. And because this is a loop page, I can go in and I can make edits as necessary. Everyone on my team can come in and leave comments where necessary as well. So this is truly agents working alongside humans to get work done faster in the context of where you already do your work.
Super cool. Well, thank you very much, Robyn, for that. The first thing I'd like to say is that this is actually available in public preview, and we will be rolling it out to GA within the next week. And so this will now be available in your tenants for you to play with. There's a couple things I'll call out here, one of which is a little bit hard to show in a demo, but what's really interesting is that PMA and facilitator are actually listening to the discussion when you turn facilitator on, and they will actually autonomously suggest that it can write a document for you inside the chat, and you can click the button and say, yeah, let's go ahead and write that document. And so amazingly, this will actually make it so much easier because even if you don't know that these capabilities are there, they will be available and advertised to users so they can start adopting this new way of working and just get much faster at the work that they're doing. Technically speaking, in the background, I just wanted to call out that we have done a ton of work inside Teams to provide the grounding of all the things happening in the meeting, whether it be the transcript, the chat, any attachments that have been uploaded. And the project manager agent consumes that grounding, and then the documents and the tasks it creates are based on that grounding. So it is very specific to that meeting and very aware of everything that's happening in that space. So that is the first place that we've sort of unleashed the project manager agent out inside Microsoft 365 into the system. The second place is in channels. And so this is another great one where a lot of people manage their work inside channels. And so let's take a look at how that's going to work.
All right, so our team also has a channel where we are constantly updating with details about this upcoming launch event. And you're going to see that we have added an agent to this channel so it can help us out with some routine work, including creating tasks and plans for us. Now, as part of this event planning, I've realized that we need a bit more details and planning for the event logistics and safety plan. So I can call on the channel agent, mention it, and let it know what I want to accomplish and when I want to accomplish it by. And it will help us set up a work back schedule with all of the dates populated for us so we know that we're on track to meet our deadline. And again, this is interfacing directly with the project manager agent to create these tasks and the goals in Planner. So now if we go into the conversation here, we can see that the channel agent is reasoning over our ask, and we can follow along on its chain of thought as it's working to make sure that it's staying on track. And because it's in the channel, it has all of the context of our discussions as a team, any files that we've shared as well, so it can really create a meaningful plan for us. And there we go. We have our initial plan set up. We can see we have some dates there to keep us on track. But I noticed that it's missing one section that I need, which is to interface with the local fire department to make sure we're following all local regulations. But that's easy. I can simply ask the agent to make those changes as needed, and it will go ahead and do that for us. So again, we can watch it reasoning. It is taking into account the previous plan that it has created, what changes we're asking for, and giving us our new output. And we can see that it did successfully add that new section for us there. So this looks great. I'm going to go ahead and save this to Planner so my team can start taking actions on it. And if we then go into Planner, we can see that the agent has created this trainer map plan for us. It's created a goal related to the ask that we had, so we know the context that these tasks were created in. And of course, again, they have the AI indicator, so you can distinguish them from any tasks that a human on your team would have created. So this is great. We also have that deadline, so we know what date we're working towards, and we're ready now to get to work and make sure that our venue safety plan is ready to go.
Super cool. Thank you, Robyn. So a couple of highlights here. Obviously, we have a new skill that showed up here from meetings, which is what we call the work-back plan. So you give it a date and you say, I've got an exact presentation on this day with a date, and we will build you a work-back plan from that. So the PMA is now not just capturing tasks and making documents, but it's actually also making full work-back plans for you that you can save into Planner. It's multi-turn, obviously. You saw her going back and forth and refining it as you want to update tasks. And then in the same way that the meetings agent is grounded in all the content of the meeting, PMA here is grounded in all the content of the channel. And so anything, attachments, chats, all that kind of stuff is actually added into the PMA so that when it's making its plan, it takes all that into consideration, which is super great. So this is now actually in public preview. We just rolled it out, so something that you can go play with if you're in the right Teams ring. But please go ahead and use that today. But I will also say this, we are not just adding agent features into Planner, we're doing some other things that people have asked for a while. And so the next thing I'm going to announce is as part of this work, it won't just work in a normal channel, but it will also work in a shared channel. And we will be rolling this out very shortly. I know a lot of people have been asking for this one for a long time. So now Planner will show up and the project manager agent will show up in shared channels as well, which is super good. So everybody good with that one? I know that one's usually pretty popular. So that's a big new thing. So hopefully you're all super happy with that one. We've been working with the teams on that for a while, and so we're really excited about rolling that out soon. So, boy, we saw it in Teams now a couple of times, meetings and channels. How will Project Manager show up in Copilot itself?
Well, let's take a look. All right, so I'm sure just like all of you, I have been super busy lately and I haven't really been able to keep up with the steady stream of emails that are coming into my inbox. But of course, I know that there are critical asks and updates in there for me. So since I don't have time to sort through all of those emails, I'm going to ask Copilot if it can help out looking through my emails related to my highest priority project, the Trainer Map project, and give me all of the important tasks, summaries, and their due dates that I should follow up on. So I can simply let it know this in natural language, as you would with any Copilot prompt. And it's going to read through all of the emails that I had asked it to, and it was able to pull out a couple of those emails with some tasks for me. And these look pretty important, so I want to make sure they're tracked in Planner alongside all of my other tasks so I don't lose track of them. With the new Project Manager agent directly in Copilot, I can simply @mention the Project Manager agent and ask it to add these tasks to my Planner. It's able to read them from our previous message, give me a summary of what it is adding to my Planner, and we're good to go. And now if I navigate back to the Planner app and look at my tasks list, we can see that they are all there along with their relevant due dates. So I know to go and follow up and I don't miss any of my deadlines. So I have some work to do. I better get on that.
So that's pretty cool. We're going to actually see more of the Project Manager agent inside of Copilot in a bit later too, because it's going to actually do more than just your personal tasks. But this is pretty cool. So you can look across M365 and any other connected systems, find tasks that might be in there waiting for you, and then just track them in Planner. So you've got reminders and notifications and all those great things that Planner brings to your work there. Boy, it just doesn't stop, does it?
It's going.
It's like an endless train of integrations into the various parts. So tasks are really going to be foundational inside M365. They will be everywhere and consistent. And one of those places is, of course, Outlook.
That's right. So we're truly bringing Planner everywhere that you work. You've seen Teams, you've seen Copilot, and now we're bringing it to Outlook as well. So in the Outlook app, the same place that, of course, you manage your emails, you manage your calendar, and so much else, you can also now manage your tasks and plans. So Planner is going to be available as an app within Outlook that you can access all of the features you know and love, like My Day, My Tasks, and of course, My Plans, where you can access all of the plans that you are currently working on. And if we open up one of those plans, you will see that the Project Manager agent is available always in the bottom right corner of your plan, ready to help out. You can ask it any question that you need, and it will help you get work done faster. And of course, we have all the other views that are available in Planner everywhere else as well. So you're truly getting the full task management experience right where you work.
So this is an important one because that actually brings up a really important vision and goal of ours, which was 2 years ago at Ignite. I'm sort of doing a memory lane of Ignites here. We actually talked about the merger of To-Do and Planner and Project for the Web into one single app. And what you're seeing here is actually that vision is starting to get very close to being done. Because as Planner comes into all the endpoints where To-Do has been, you will start to see that you can start sort of managing your tasks and your plans in one unified experience across all those. And so this is a real sort of important milestone for us as a team, and we are rolling this out now. And so over the next couple of months, you'll start to see this show up inside of Outlook. And we'll post roadmaps updates, by the way, on all of these things. We're updating the M365 roadmap as we're talking right now, by the way. So those will be updated. And so a really big milestone for us to get Planner and the Project Manager agent inside Outlook. The other thing that I'll talk about, and you'll see this show up a bunch, is we're also doing real-time notifications that show up in both emails and in the activity feed in Teams. You might have seen a couple of them pop up, but Robyn will talk about them in a minute. And so the Project Manager agent is becoming more autonomous in that you can give it work to do, and it will go do it in the background, and then update you when it's done, so you can go check out the work that it's done. And Robyn will actually show us this in a bit. So that was sort of the first section of the presentation, which is really about how did the Project Manager agent and Planner sort of show up across the whole ecosystem and really be in all the places that people work in the flow of their work. Now we're going to come back home a little bit into Planner. And what are the changes that we're doing in Planner moving forward? The first one is very significant. One of the biggest pieces of feedback that we get today is that we have these things called basic plans and these things called premium plans. We are working to merge them. So you will have one single plan type. Thank you very much. It's been a lot of work, so we appreciate that. So we will have one single plan type. We'll have one single way to extend, connect to Planner API-wise, so that you no longer have to worry about what's in what system, who's creating what, user confusion about, oh, well, this shows up here, but not over there. All of those problems will go away. And in the process, we're turning this into our agentic platform for tasks across M365, which you are seeing in all the demos. And so this is a huge moment for us, for you guys. This will be a journey for us over the coming months. And so we will have lots of training, lots of support materials for folks. We're happy to sort of talk about the changes that are coming with customers and partners as we go through this, because we know it's actually a pretty significant change in a lot of ways, but we're very excited about it. So I think we're going to do a little bit of a sort of coming back to the home base a little bit and talk about the Project Manager agent in Planner, which has had a lot of updates since we announced it 12 months ago.
That's right. So, as many of you know, the Project Manager Agent has been available in public preview for quite a while, and we have heard a ton of feedback about it, including that it really needed a refresh and we needed some improvements in quality. So we've been listening, and today I'm excited to show you some of those enhancements in action. So here I have a plan that I just created for the TrainerMat marketing project. We don't have any tasks in here right now, so I'm going to employ the Project Manager Agent's help to get this all set up. If I go into the Goals tab of the plan, I'm going to be able to specify our objective and what we're looking to achieve. In this case, we're looking to market the TrainerMat so that we reach 10,000 sales within the first 6 months of launch. And on this page, I can make sure the agent has all of the right context as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of files related to the TrainerMat project that I think will be critical for its understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. And you'll also notice that it has access to web content. So you are always getting the most up-to-date information in the output. So now that we know it has all of the right context available, we can go ahead and have it generate some tasks for us based on our goal. And this is really going to help us kickstart our plan, get past that blank page, and have a starting point that we can build off of. So we have a great set of initial tasks here. And if we go back to the grid view, we can see those. And you'll also notice the Project Manager Agent, of course, now lives in the bottom right corner of your plan to help out. So this is your private chat with the agent to ask any questions that you need. But one of my favorite ways to use this is to help break down tasks that I had generated with the agent in the goals page. So I'm going to ask it to add some subtasks to our second task there to develop our product messaging. That's quite a broad task, and I think we need something a little bit more snackable for my team to work on. And just like that, we've broken that down, and it's ready to get to work. Now, there's one task here that I need to get started on, and I know it's going to take me a while, which is researching competitor messaging and positioning. But I think the Project Manager Agent can help out with this, so I'm going to assign it to that task. And you'll notice that I am assigned right alongside the Project Manager Agent automatically. This is so we have what we call human in the loop, where there is always a human available and assigned to check on the agent's work and make sure that it is accurate and relevant. If we go into the board view, we can see that the agent is actively working on this, so that's great. I'm going to now go ahead and get started on something else, which is a status report for this project, something my leadership team has been begging for. So I can just give it a couple pieces of information, like I just want the reporting period to be last week. We just started this project, so not much past last week to think about, and let it know that this should be a kickoff report for my leadership team. This is going to take a couple of minutes. So as these two tasks are working, I can head out of Planner and take care of any work that I need elsewhere. For example, I need to send my friend Nestor a quick message here, following up on some of the social media guidelines that we've been working on. But I know that the agent will let me know when it's time to come back into the plan to check on its work. Just like that. So now we have a great notification from the agent pulling me back into the plan and letting me know where my attention is needed. If we head back into Planner, we can look at the content that it generated for us. It's available in a loop page directly in the task, so you can edit it as needed. And this looks pretty comprehensive and pretty great. It has some great information about the competitors in the space, what their messaging looks like, and how we can stand out. And of course, we have the references at the bottom as well, so we can fact check the work that it did and make sure it is accurate. So this is pretty great. I think we can mark this one as done. All right, so now we have that out of the way. If we go back to the board view, we can see that that task is under the Ready for Review column and completed, so we know the Project Manager Agent is done with its work and it's fully reviewed. And now we see that our status report is ready as well, which is great. So if we navigate back to the Reports tab, we can see what the agent has come up for us there. So it has an executive summary about the plan, a graph of the project task status from the past week, a nice Gantt chart so our team is aware of the overall timeline, some highlights of what we've accomplished, what work is in progress, and what's coming next. Everything that my leadership team might need to know. So this is really great. I'm just going to go ahead and keep this and I can mark it as completed so any of my team members that come into this plan know it's ready for review. And I want to share it more broadly as well, so with a single click, I can share it as a newsletter. It will automatically populate all of those same sections for me in a beautiful, easy to consume format with no work on my end, which I love. And in just a couple seconds, we have something ready to share. So now I can post this for my team to my SharePoint site. And of course, after that, I can share it as an email as well to bring it directly to their inbox. So in just a couple of minutes, we were able to set up our plan, get some competitor marketing research done, and get a status report sent out to my team, something that previously would have probably taken me all day to do.
I'm pretty disappointed because I love writing status reports. So as we start converging basic and premium plans into one plan type, one of the benefits of that is the project manager agent will now show up in every plan type. Today, the project manager agent is only available in premium plans, but coming very soon, we'll actually have it running in basic plans as well. And so this is a super exciting piece of news, and one of the great things about having sort of a single unified platform is that we'll no longer have this sort of splintering of where features show up. And so we're super excited about this one and to get project manager into everybody's hands going forward. So that's a great sort of outcome from getting onto a single unified platform. So just an update, like we have done a big update on the project manager agent in the last 12 months. Both the UI is very different, like with the action button in the bottom right-hand corner. We've also upgraded all the models underneath, actually twice in the last 12 months. That's how fast this stuff is all working. So we're constantly updating the models underneath. So the output just gets better and better every day. And so there's a lot of really great changes that have come here, both sort of above the waterline and below the waterline as we start to and continue to improve the project manager agent, both in Planner and across the system. And then, of course, you know, the status reports feature to me is just such a wonderful feature because it is so terrible to write status reports. We've done a lot of work to improve these. You'll actually see some hints in a bit about some new things coming as well. One of the great things about this is we actually look at what we call task history. And so we track every task change in the system. And we have an entire set of data on all those task changes. And so this is something that the project manager agent actually has access to. And so you don't have to go and do like the diffs between what moved and what didn't move. The project manager agent is doing all that for you because it has literally an accounting of every single task update that's happened in the system. And by the way, you can talk, when you're chatting with the project manager agent, you can even ask it about changes that happen to tasks because it knows all about them. Okay, so the next demo is a sneak peek into when premium plans and basic plans come together. What does the world look like?
All right, yeah, so what you're gonna see is a super early sneak peek, hot off the presses, just for you guys. So this is the new Planner experience that will be coming soon with a refreshed and more performant UI. And we're gonna start by creating a plan so we can see what that looks like. And the first thing that I'm gonna wanna point out to you on this page is, like Howard mentioned, the project manager agent will now be available in all plans and templates, not just your premium plans. So let's start out by creating a basic plan and take a look at how that works. So this should be pretty familiar to you if you use Planner regularly. I can give my plan a name, pin it for easy access, and share it with the group that I need to so everyone can access it. And if I go ahead and create that, in just a couple seconds, we will have a plan set up for us. But let's take a look at what this looks like fully filled out so we can make some progress. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you here is an exciting new feature that we've gotten a lot of requests for, which is Task Chat. So now you can have conversations with your teammates directly in the context of a task. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this task to my colleague, Nancy. And it's quite high priority. So I want to make sure that she sees this task and is able to get on it right away. I can mention her in the task chat, let her know that I've assigned it to her and what the deadline is, so her attention is brought to it as soon as possible. Now, while I wait for her response, I can go and continue work elsewhere. I'll send Howard a quick ping letting him know we just set up this plan so he can keep an eye on what we're doing.
Love Trainer Matt.
And we can see that Nancy has already responded to me. So if we go back into Planner, we can see that because she @mentioned me, I got that notification, and I know to send her a bit more details about what is needed here. Now you're also going to notice we have the Goals tab on this plan. Now Goals is a premium feature, so before this you would have only been able to access it in a specific premium plan. But because we are merging the two plan types, all the features that you get will be based solely on your license, not what type of plan you are in. So because I have a premium license, Goals is available for me here. And of course, we still have all of the other views that you know and love, so you can get work done the same way you have done before. And you're also going to notice the Reports tab here, because PMA is available in this plan for us. And you can see some exciting enhancements compared to what we saw in the last demo. So now you can choose which sections are included in your report, so only the most pertinent information is there for your team. And you'll see if we go to show more options, you can also choose the length of the report as well. So it's truly tailored to what you and your team need. You're only getting the content that is relevant for you. And one last feature announcement for all of you, which is custom templates, another highly requested feature. So if I want to publish this for my team to get started more quickly with any product launches that they have, I can simply publish it as a template. If I give it a name and a description, they can easily know when to use this, when it's relevant for them. And I can share it with the right group, so only the right people have access to this template. I'm going to leave that as Contoso for now because that's perfect. And I can choose which fields I want to share as part of this template as well. So if I only wanted to share certain things, I could do that. If I go ahead and publish that, we'll see that that is created. And if we head back into the Create a Plan experience again, I'm going to point out that we now have new sections under our plan templates. One for Created by Me, where we can see all of the templates that I have published, including the product launch one that we just created now. So my team can get started using our standard processes faster than ever before.
Wow, pretty awesome. What do you guys think? Chats, @mentions, custom templates. So as we've been re-architecting this system, one of the great benefits of that is actually the Planner UI is twice as fast as it was before. So every time you go into Planner, it will render much faster than it has before. This is one of those little things that means a lot to all of us, I think. Saves time every day. And so there's been a lot of huge improvements that our engineering team has done to make sure that our entire stack is as fast as it can be, top to bottom. So I think this is an enormous thing that folks will love and enjoy in our core Planner experience. I can't emphasize how much we've been waiting for the task chat in Planner. We are rolling this out now, today. This is one of those features that people have been waiting for a long time, especially the @mention part where you can bring people in and say, hey, you haven't finished your task, which is a sort of a classic conversation that we all have. It is built on the same stack as Teams, and so underneath it's basically saving a Teams chat underneath the covers, just in case you folks are wondering about that. And pretty soon we'll bring emojis and those kinds of things, so you can have much richer conversations and fun conversations with your team. So a huge thing that we're rolling out very shortly for folks. We've got a couple customers testing it out right now and giving us feedback, and we will roll it out once we've got the green light on that. So very exciting. And then, of course, custom templates. Wow. People have been really looking forward to this one. I actually love the work the team has done on this. The custom template process is super easy to do. You're just building a normal plan and then saving it as a template, which is very natural and easy, no tool required. It's sort of just in the app right there. And then, of course, you can save it out, as she showed, with different groups. And so the HR team can have their set of templates. The marketing team can have their set of templates. And so very natural sharing mechanisms there that I think are going to sort of really make this a well-loved feature as we go forward. And with all these features, we will, we'd love to take feedback as we roll them out and get input from you folks on what's working, what's not working, and how we can fix it. This is a journey we're taking with you guys. So please give us that feedback. Okay, so the first thing we looked at was project manager, agent, and planner everywhere in M365, coming to you in the flow of work. The second one was sort of our planner home base and how we're improving planner with lots of great new stuff. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about sort of work management and how we're bringing the project manager agent into the Copilot ecosystem and how we're going to take advantage of the other agents that are available, and not just agents, but connectors as well in some very interesting ways. Microsoft is doing an amazing job at building out a whole host of agents like researcher and analyst, workflows. We've got connectors to virtually everything like Jira and things like that. And we are going to natively be able to connect to all of those in the system, which brings an enormous amount of leverage to the work that we're doing. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the project manager agent working across different project systems.
All right.
Take it away.
Yeah, so we all know that work doesn't just happen in one task management system. Even for our trainer map project that we've been talking about, we're tracking our iOS app development in Jira and our Android app development in Planner. But of course, I need to stay on top of blockers across both places. And Copilot plus the project manager agent and our connectors can help me do just that. So I'm going to ask the agent to identify any blockers that we have in the trainer map project, and it's going to be able to look across all of our task management systems to pull the most comprehensive result. So you're going to see here, it was able to pull a blocker from Jira as well as Planner. The first one is quite overdue, so I definitely want to follow up on that, and Copilot can help me with that as well. I'm going to ask it to draft an email to Nadine, who owns this issue, to help me get this back on track. And because it is still in this conversation using the project manager agent, it's able to pull that context from the Jira item and include all of that in the email that we're writing here. So now I have this ready to go, all of the context in one place. I never had to go into Jira myself, and I can send this off to Nadine and get this back on track.
So this is really a peek into the future of how we think about agentic portfolios. In the old days, you would have to spend hours and hours and hours building a report or getting somebody to build a report. Then you'd have to find the little red dot on that giant report. In the future, like, you just ask the question that you want answered. And this is going to mean a really big change for us as people who work in this business and this industry in the way that we conceive of people working with the information inside project systems. And so this is actually a very dramatic change, not just from the technology that we're using, but also in the ways that we're going to use this technology and the ways that we manage projects going forward. I think it's going to be infinitely easier than it has been in the past. I can't tell you how many reports, we generate that we're probably not going to have to generate anymore because of that. And so these connectors are actually available in the system right now. And so there is a limited amount of this that you can actually do right now inside of Copilot and Project Manager Agent, but more will be coming, and we'll have more scenarios and be able to answer more questions better as we refine the system over time. But this is kind of a glimpse into the future of how we think about working with portfolios in the age of AI. Okay, so the next one is one of my favorites because everybody wants workflows, but nobody wants to make them. It's a real pain in the butt. And we recently released something called the Workflows Agent, and we're going to see a demo of that, and it's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. All right. So, of course, with so many things on all of our plates, finding the places where automation can help make our lives a little bit easier is critical. So I'm going to invest in the Workflows agent to help me get this done. In natural language, I'm going to ask it, every Monday, send me a list of my tasks in Planner that are not started or in progress. And also, I want them to be formatted in a table so that it's easy for me to consume and get started as quickly as possible. So with just that information, it's able to kick off a workflow for me. It's going to recognize the pieces that are needed, including the trigger, which should be every Monday morning. It's going to recognize that it should pull those tasks from my planner list, filter them to in progress or not started, and of course, finally, send that Teams message to me with them formatted in the table that I asked for. It will automatically set up all of my connections for me, and we're ready to go, just like that. If I go ahead and save it, it will save all of this for me so that it automatically starts running. And now I can go back into Teams and show you exactly what this looks like when I log on Monday morning. The Workflows agent will send me a quick ping with a list of my tasks in that table format that I had asked for. So I'm ready to get started without ever stepping foot outside of Teams, and I know what the most important work is for my week so I can be as productive as possible.
Pretty cool. Yeah. So this is already available if you've signed up for the Frontier program. It's available in Frontier, and this works today, basically, so which is pretty great. So this is how we look at the future of Planner, the project manager agent, within our ecosystem, greater ecosystem of agents and connectors. And you can see the power of how these things interact, and being able to work together really makes everything so much easier and so much more powerful with the data that we have in our system underlying, in terms of all the plans that we have, all the JIRAs that are connected, GitHub, ADO, all those different systems, bringing them together, being able to build workflows using natural language, really, I think, completely unleashes people to get what they need to do done better than they have ever done before. And so with that, I'd like to thank you all for being here. It's been a pleasure to show you the future of Planner and the Project Manager Agent. As you see, some of this stuff is out there right now in public preview or GA, and some of it's coming. We are updating our roadmap, as I mentioned before, so please go check that out. And I'd just like to leave you with one more thought, which is we are trying to move the needle for getting projects finished. Managing them is great, but getting that work done is the important thing that we all care about. And so getting those projects done faster, whether it's building out the project plan to actually executing, building documents, writing documents, making workflows, all those kinds of things are just going to happen faster than they ever have done before. So we can help you turn your ideas into reality. And that's the message I want you to take from this is we're trying to change the game about project and work management. And with that, thank you very much. Take a look. All of our stuff is getting posted about this as we speak. Take a picture of that. Go check out the links. And thank you very much.
Thank you all.